What's happening, guys? Happy Saturday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever your time zone is. Big up to everybody in the chat. You guys already know what it is. It's a very sunny day here in London, as you lot can tell, or if you can't tell. It's a very sunny day, and I'm kind of blown away about the fact that the sun is just beaming on me right now. It's just beaming on me. But big up to everybody in the chat. I hope you've had a good day. Or if your day started, let me know what your plans are. It's a serious day, guys, of football. It's a serious day of football today. First and foremost, make sure you hit the like button as you come in. You guys know the rules. You come in, you wipe your feet, and you smash the like button. But it's a very, very hectic day of football, not just in the Premier League. I think for the weekend, there's a lot of good games across Europe. But Premier League is looking serious. Is looking serious today. I don't know what we've done to deserve this Saturday of football. But you lot, I said it yesterday, I think. I said it last night on stream. What on earth is the Premier League thinking putting Liverpool and City as a 12:30 kickoff? Could they not put Brentford versus Arsenal? I'm not gonna lie. Could they not do that instead? Why have they put that as the 12:30 kickoff here in the UK? Obviously, if you live in Middle East or Africa, you'll like that because it's going to be like 2-3 p.m. for you. But 12:30 on a Saturday, not gonna lie, them kind of games should not be kicking off. But I'm gonna talk about that game. We're gonna hate on that game, and also all the other games. Actually, we're not gonna hate, guys. We're gonna actually have adult conversations regarding these matches because I think that this has probably been the most, I would say, hyped up game coming in to the weekend. I don't think I've seen as much promo across all the the TV platforms and all of that for this game. And I guess it's because Liverpool are kind of back or kind of getting back to where they were over the last couple seasons. And Man City is just Man City. Now I got a wild take, and a part of me thinks that this is really going to be the title clash. The two teams are in the title. That's what I think. I think people talk about City, people talk about Arsenal. No one's talking about Liverpool, and I just don't get why that's the case. I just don't understand why people are not talking about Liverpool when it comes to talking about the title. I'm not gonna lie, I've watched them in fixtures. When I watched them against Luton, they struggled. They struggled against Luton. But when it comes to the big games, they really do be performing this season. So I feel like Liverpool are just going under the radar. And also, a lot of Liverpool fans that I speak to, and when we talk about this, I think they also don't feel like they're in a race. But I don't know. I think they could be in a race. I'm not gonna lie. Big up to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Ricardo. Big up to Sophia. Says big up, Mina. Big up. I hope you are doing well. Let me know your predictions, guys, for the City versus Liverpool game. Of course, that's the most talked about game. I think Newcastle and Chelsea is another game that is interesting for me this season or this weekend. Sorry, but with the injuries that Newcastle have, I'm not gonna lie. I had to take a few of their players out of my FPL team. I had to do that. You guys know me. Every season, this is what we're in November now. We're coming up to December next week. I'm surprised that I'm still interested in FPL. I don't really, by the time it gets to October, normally I've lost interest in FPL. But for some reason, I'm doing pretty well. I was just looking at all my groups. I mean, in my own FPL league, I'm 11th, which is not bad because there's about 200 and something people. But in all my other leagues, I'm first. Stop the count. Stop the count. In my Call of Duty league with my friends, I'm first. In my family league, I'm first. Actually, I'm second, but I'm not that far off from first. I'm only a few points off. So just stop the count. Just end it here. But FPL is a whole different topic. That's a whole different topic. Let's talk about Liverpool and City. Guys, I've seen a debate on social media, and I know a lot of you lot hate Liverpool. I don't like Liverpool. But take off our United caps for a second and just put our football caps on. I saw someone saying that Salah is not a top 10 Premier League winger of all time. Is there 10 players that have played in the Premier League as wingers that are better than Mohamed Salah? I'm not too sure. I don't think so. And I'm a hater, guys. I know it says in the title this is hate, but we're being honest for a second. We're going to be honest right now. I'm a hater, but I have to give credit where credit is due. And I don't know how you can rank wingers in the league or just all time across the Premier League and not have Mohamed Salah in it. Even this season, he's quietly having a good season. If you want to go off stats, bear in mind that front line, that Liverpool front line, I think has been an ever-changing one. They've had, Nunez, Gakpo, Diaz. That front line is ever-changing. Salah is the common denominator in that front line. He's the one that's always guaranteed to start. We don't know if Jota's going to start. We don't know if Luis Diaz is going to start. We don't know if Darwin Núñez is going to start, because Klopp likes to change things around. But the ever so present is Mohamed Salah all the time. And I feel like he just, for 10 goals, he's got 10 goals this Premier League season. He's second in the title, the boot, what's it called? The Golden Boot race. Haaland's got 13. That Haaland is a whole different thing. And we're going to come on to City as well, because I feel like this season, City's missing piece is Gundogan. And we're going to come to that. I don't think Gundogan got the respect or the credit that he deserved during his time at Manchester City. But Liverpool, for me, there's two players that really stand out. And you know what? It's not Van Dijk, if you lot are gonna ask. It's not Van Dijk. For me, I think the biggest issue that Liverpool had last season, and this is what happens when you've got a good structure in place in terms of recruitment. This is what happens when the manager doesn't pick the players and is, the recruitment strategy that does, because Liverpool had a big issue with their midfield last season. Yeah. And now they have probably one of the better midfields in the top 5, in the top 6, sorry, if we're being honest. Who could really go? Maybe City got a good midfield, but then again, half the time they're playing John Stones as an inverted centre back, inverted centre mid, sorry. So I think Liverpool's midfield is good, and I think it's improved heavily. This season. I can't say his name, and I don't want to get trolled again in the chat for mispronounce it. Shit. How do you say his name? Sobalasai. Someone told me how to say it. Yeah, I just call him Soz. I'm not gonna lie, guys. I just call him Soz. But somebody in the chat one time kind of phonetically spelled it out for me. But I'm just gonna call him Soz. Yeah, that guy, baller. Don't know about his price tag. Sobozlai. There you go. Okay. It's just the way that I spelled and the way that I said is very different. Sobozlai. I just call him Soz. Man like Soz. Yeah. Aside from his price tag, I don't know. Do you guys feel like, because when we talk about players in the Premier League, when we talk about Enzo Fernandez, when we talk about Caicedo, when we talk about Anthony, Mason Mount, we talk about these players that have had big price tags and have done nothing to justify it. Do you guys feel like man like Soz has justified his price tag? What did they buy him for? They brought him 70 racks. I think it was 70 million. They brought him for biggest fee that they've spent in a minute. Declan Rice, 105 million. I don't know about the 105, but I would take Declan Rice in my team any day of the week. And anyone who says that they would not take Declan Rice, you are a liar and an actress. God forget. You are a liar. Anyone that says they would not take Declan Rice in their team is an absolute liar. You know what, guys? I said at the beginning of the stream, we're going to take off our Manchester United hats and we're going to put on our football hats. Yeah, because today we are being football minded. We're being good people. We're talking about football in a logical perspective, not just hate. Because the hate starts for me in about an hour and 20 minutes when the game kicks off. But right now, we're going to talk about logical opinions. Anyone that says, if we talk about this summer transfer window, and there was big fees, by the way, guys, that a lot of teams spent on individual players. Obviously, Chelsea took the baton for it because they were just throwing 100 here, 100 there, 100 everywhere. But Soz, man like Soz, Sophia says in the chat, Mina, the Liverpool streets call him the Hungarian Steven Gerrard. That is big boots to fill. I'm not going to lie. And you know what? I don't know what it is. Every international break, guys, if you're on Twitter, every international break, why is there a conversation about who is the better midfielder, Gerrard, Lampard, or Scholes? Every international break, without a fail, I see this debate. I know that's a bit off topic, but that is some serious boots to fill. You know who I'm a big fan of? Honestly, Curtis Jones. I am a big fan of Curtis Jones. I think he's very talented. I think he should get more opportunities. But I think he's very talented. I think he has the ability to be a great midfielder, depending on how Klopp uses him. Obviously, I think Liverpool are probably likely to go into the market again in the summer to buy another midfielder to kind of complete their little trio. But I don't know, man. I think Curtis Jones is the truth. I think he's the truth. Shoot me for that. I don't care, guys. Take a gun to my head and shoot me. I don't care. I'm sorry. I'm here praising a Scouser. And he's a true Scouser, you know. He's from Liverpool. He's from a neighborhood in Liverpool. He's a true Scouser through and through. Big up Big up to Football Power Hour says, big up Mina in the chat. Like and subscribe. You guys know what it is, man. You come in, wipe your feet, hit the like, hit the subscribe if you're not already subscribed. To be honest, you can't talk in the chat if you're not subscribed. So everybody is subscribed. Big up to Koala. I hope you are having a good Saturday. Says, man like Soz is worth 70 million. You put an actual DM beside him, let him do what he does best without too many defensive duties. He's going to be a Liverpool legend. Guys, where's Lavia? Where is Lavia? I was having this conversation the other day and someone couldn't tell me where Lavia was. Is he injured? Is he out injured or is he just not playing at Chelsea? Because I know Lavia was the guy that they wanted. That was, and I'm only answering that because I'm thinking if he is on the bench, then what a waste of a transfer. But if he's out injured, I understand. But talking about City, another waste of a transfer is Mateus Nunes. Mateus Nunes, yeah, great player, absolute baller. I wanted him when he was at Sporting, guys. When he was at Sporting last year, I was thinking there's no way a big English club don't come in and swoop in for him. As a result, a big English club didn't come in and swoop in for him. Wolves came in for him. But then City brought him, similar to Calvin Phillips, to just be on the bench. I get that they need the rotation in midfield, obviously. Look at Rodri. He was suspended for 3 games. I get that. But I'm sorry, them kind of players is just, it's questionable. It's questionable. But when you talk about City's depth, and City got serious depth, you know, look at, they've got 4 goalkeepers. So shout out Scott Carson. That guy is just cheating his way to a Premier League and Champions League every other season. But they've got serious depth. And also, they bring through academy players. Like, it seems that City they're trying to not be this team that just focus on buying players and obviously developing their academies. And rumor has it that City actually have the best academy in England. Rumor has it. Don't ask me where I got that rumor from. But apparently they've got the best academy or one of the best academies in England, which is why they're able to sell the likes of Cole Palmer for however 30 million to Chelsea. They sold a goalkeeper for 20 million. They're now selling another player who's getting interest from not just Premier League clubs but also other European clubs. And they've also got the likes of Rico Lewis coming through the system. Rico Lewis in a team that's got the likes of Stones, Ake, Vardio, what's it called? Who else? They got who else they got? They got Ake, Walker, etc. Obviously, Rico Lewis is getting game time. And that's why, guys, I'm sorry, I don't want to bring up Man United, yeah. But that's why I look at Ten Hag a bit sideways, because I'm like, you got one academy player, yeah, in the name of Kobbie Mainoo, and you're telling me every midfielder is dusted? Every midfielder in United is dusted, and he still might not get a chance. That's suspicious. That's weird. That's suspicious. But you already know where I stand on the Kobbie thing. Big up to Ed in the chat. Happy Saturday. Hope you're good. Says City basically copied Cobham in how they produce and sell youth, and they're doing a damn good job at it. The thing is, when Abu Dhabi came in and they brought City, they had a plan for them, similar to what Sheikh Jassim had for United in regards to first team, women's team, and an academy. Yeah. The way they've developed their academy, forget how they've developed their first team, because we know they've spent more than $1 billion. Yeah, that's aside from the point. But the way that they've developed their academy to become one of the best in England, to be able to sell on players, because at the end of the day, how many players actually make it from the academy to first team? On how many players actually make it? I'd say like one every couple years, one every other year, maybe. From what I've seen in big clubs. I'm talking about the big clubs. I'm not talking about clubs that rely on academy to kind of come through. But Manchester United, for example, it was Rashford came through the academy, then it was McTominay, then it was Greenwood. It's every other year that a player came through the academy, and that's one player, guys. That's one player. There was lots of other players that were part of that crop that just didn't cut it. They just didn't make it. Axel Tuanzebe, there's better of them. Brandon Williams, all of them guys, Ethan Laird, etc. But City, when they were brought by Abu Dhabi, had this master plan of not only developing their academy and having, creating products, i.e. players that have sell-on value, but also they invested heavily in their women's team. They built them a whole new facility. They literally built them a whole new facility, backed the manager, helped with transfers, paid for transfers. In women's football, the gap between, in comparison to men, there's never been a million pound transfer in women's football. Like there's never been a £1 million transfer. So to Abu Dhabi, that was light work because you're here paying 300k here, 200k here, 100k here. That's nothing. That's some players' weekly wages for transfers. That's literally some players' weekly wages. So for me, it's funny. It's funny. I don't know, man. I hate praising City. I hate it. I don't like it. I don't like praising any team, to be honest. But Gundo is a big miss for City. Big miss. I think Kevin De Bruyne is a miss for them as well because they missed that creativity. But I think the void of okay, don't shoot me for this, but I genuinely think that the void of Kevin De Bruyne would not be felt so much if Gundogan was there. I think Bernardo Silva is a great player, but I feel like there's a lot of things that Gundogan did. If there was one player that I feared when we played City, it was Gundogan. Gundogan is the player that I feared. I didn't like, Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland, etc. But Gundogan is a player that I feared because he always produced something, a goal or assist. He was a threat in the box. He was a threat in transition. He was a threat on the ball. He was a threat off the ball. He was boxed. His ability to get back and forth between the pitch, serious. I ain't been watching Barcelona much this season, so I don't know how he's getting on at Barcelona. But maybe I can actually watch him more now that he's at Barcelona because I liked him as a player. I thought he was a great player. And that's the thing. City brought players that fit the philosophy of the manager and of the club. You want someone that's good on both ends. If you really know that how important a player is when they leave. You really know how important they are. And I don't know any City fans. I don't know any City fans. I'm not gonna lie. So I couldn't say, oh, they miss him. But I would assume that they miss him. We're hating in broad daylight a bit early. I might say, bro, the sun is blinding me. Where the hell has the sun come out of today? Let me see what the weather is because it's November, bro. This is serious global warming. What's the weather saying? I still got Saudi Arabia on my app. I was going to say it's saying it's 4 degrees, but that sun out there right now, the way that it's shining on me right now is not 4 degrees sun. That is not 4 degrees sun. With Sancho's weekly wages, I could sign a few players for Mark Hipster Skinner. Leave him alone, man. Leave him alone. Will forever not forgive us for not giving Angel and Garner a chance. That is another 2 players that I thought were gonna be, that class. Every academy has a class of 2021, the class of 2020, whatever. That class of Angel Gomez and Garner, I genuinely thought they were the 2 players that were going to get chances in the first team. And I feel like one thing I didn't like, especially with Angel Gomez, because if you watch him now, he's doing bits. He's doing well. Last season, I haven't watched him this season, but last season I was watching him and he was doing very well. And a lot of the things that were attributed to his inability to probably play in the first team at United was because of his size. Bro, look how small Bernardo Silva is. I'm not saying him and Bernardo Silva are on the same level, by the way, but I'm saying, look how there are small players, there are short players, petite players, in the Premier League, in football that can play well. And I feel like it was kind of unfair for him. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like it was unfair for him to kind of get that criticism or say that that's the reason why he's probably not gonna, fit into the team, because I don't think he was given a chance. I don't think and I just feel like it was just a bad time. Do you guys think Ten Hag is really going to bring through a lot of academy players into United? I don't know, because it seems like when United are struggling with injuries, the manager's not using his academy. He's not using it. When you look at, for example, Louis van Gaal brought in Rashford. That domino effect of Rashford playing for United is funny. Martial was meant to start, got injured. He got injured in the warm-up. Rashford came on from the bench instead, started the game, and announced himself on the world stage. Imagine Martial had never got injured. Rashford might have been like the Angel Gomez's and the Garners, etc., where they get 1 or 2 chances in the team and then they get shipped off. I feel like it's unfair. Zidane Iqbal for me is something I will never get over. Never. Again, another player similar to Angel Gomez in terms of his stature and his physique and his height, etc. But he's a player that just genuinely did not get a chance. He just did not get even one. I remember seeing Angel Gomez playing in 1 or 2 Europa League games, etc. he, i.e. Iqbal, didn't even get a chance. Not one chance. And I feel like when you look at the likes of, Liverpool bringing through Trent, now bringing through Curtis Jones, Man City, not gonna lie, they don't really, it's not like their academy players are a big part of their first team, but they managed to get money for their players. They managed to sell a play. They get a player, Cole Palmer, play him in the what's it called, Community Shield, if that's what it's still called. Play him in Community Shield, scores the winner, ship him off 30 million. That's 30 million in your pocket, 30 million profit. All good. Like, come on, United are just are jokes. We are jokes. Big up to Samir, says Salam all the way from Hamar. If you guys don't know, Hamar is the capital city of Somalia. Big up to Samir. Mina, I reckon Sufyan is going to have a mad game against Everton and Martial's going to do bits because he always scores against Everton. So I'm going United 3-1 Everton. I don't know, man. I just feel like United, we are just broken at the moment. I feel like United are in a broken place. I think we are in a the players I feel like are in a mentally fragile place, if you want to call it that. It's very difficult for me to give predictions. I can't this season. My predictions are out of the window. We ain't doing predictions. We can't do predictions. However, what I will say is I don't think Amrabat's gonna play, and I said this already because I feel like the manager has his favorites. He's got his McTominay. He's gonna go. To be honest, he has to play Amrabat because who else is there? There's no Mount, there's no Eriksen, there's no Casemiro. The only midfield options is McTominay, Amrabat, or what's his name, Kobe Mainoo. That's it. So I guess Amrabat is gonna have to play. It's gonna be a very physical game, I think, against Everton. What happened to Shola Shortire? He was on loan at Bolton last season, and I think he's on loan now somewhere. He's on loan somewhere. But that's the thing. United send out players on loans to just play places that they don't really play. Like Savage went on loan last year to Forest Green Rovers. They were in League 2. You couldn't send him to a championship. Like you sending him to League 2. They got relegated as well. Actually, no, they were in League 1 and then they got relegated to League 2. I think the only people that have had good loan spells, honestly, last season, the only people that had good loan spells, in my opinion, was Hannibal and Ahmad. That's it. I think Ethan Laird, I can't say that he had a good loan spell because I feel like he was injured half of it. And then again, that's why I think they cut ties with him because his inability to stay fit is just kind of unlucky. But guys, on the topic of City and Liverpool, let me know your predictions in the chat regarding the score because I'm waiting for the lineups to come out because I'm very interested to see what City go with. I feel like, again, this is a conversation that I've seen online, guys, and I want to hear your thoughts. It's a discourse that I've seen. You guys know when it's the summer transfer, when it's international break, there's just debates all over the place. And I saw someone saying, and a lot of people actually agreeing, that Sterling is not a Man City legend. Now, people can have their thoughts about Sterling, how he needs 50 chances to score, but I don't know how Raheem Sterling is. I think he's easily the most disrespected English player in the league. Like, there's a lot of English players in the league, yeah. I think Raheem Sterling is probably one of the most disrespected when it comes to his people respecting his ability, what he's done, how much he's won, some of the most important goals that he scored. Obviously, we're not going to talk about that Champions League goal that was disallowed because of VAR, because I'm happy with that. I'm glad with that. But when we're talking about, like I said, take off our hater hats, put on our honesty hats. Let's call it the honesty hats. If we're just talking from a footballing perspective, Raheem Sterling to me is one of the most disrespected English players, I think, right now. The fact that Southgate can leave him out of the England team continuously because he's saying he's not performing for Chelsea. Well, just before this international break, he was performing for Chelsea. If he does not go to the Euros next year, I'm already Southgate out. I don't like Southgate. I don't think he's the manager to take this class of England players to the top. Yeah, I don't rate him. But there is no way that Raheem Sterling can be left at home. I think, where is it being held? In Germany, I think. There's no way Raheem Sterling can be left at home from that England squad. And you're telling me that there's other players that are better than him and produce more than him to go. I think when City let go of Raheem Sterling, to me, I was so shocked. I remember that summer transfer window. I was so shocked because obviously they had just let go Sane. I think it was a year before that. Obviously, they've gone and replaced him with Doku. They've got and Mahrez left as well. So they had a lot of wingers leaving in the space of 2, 3, 4 years, who I think were big threats. I think Mahrez, for me, and Sterling on the other side were scary sights, scary hours to come up against as fullbacks. You have to, as a fullback, you have to be on your 10 out of 10 game. Yeah, you have to be on your 10 out of 10 game when you're coming up against them. And I feel like when Sterling left, because Chelsea had such a crap season last year, a lot of people started to attribute Raheem Sterling to that Chelsea team. That was never him. The team was shit. Excuse my language. But the team as a whole was crap. Yeah. I think it's unfair. And that's why I said when Mason Mount joined, Manchester United, I said I wasn't going to base my opinion on Mason Mount based on the season that he just had at Chelsea, because that was a crap Chelsea season. It's basically like the year that we had Ralph Ragnick. If I was to base all my opinions about players on that season was I was going to say it was an anomaly, but it's not, because clearly we're back at square one again. But that season was something you could overlook because, you thought it was just a one-off kind of thing. And the same is with Chelsea. Now Chelsea are doing a bit better. They're still quite low in the table. They ain't in the top 4 or anything. I think they're like 9th or something. But Raheem Sterling, for me, if Chelsea are going to go on a run, and they're playing Newcastle today, if Chelsea are going to go on a run and pick up points consecutively, hopefully not against United when we play them in a couple of weeks, Raheem Sterling is going to be a very important part of it. And I feel like he's so I'm not going to say underrated, because I think he's rated as a player. I just think he's disrespected when it comes to talking about him as a player. People are far too busy attributing him to the Chelsea of last season, that 1 year of Chelsea. Obviously, that was his first season, so I get why people do that. But for me, there's no way you can overlook what he's won, the goals he's scored. He's got a lot of goals for a winger, for a player who's played as a winger in a Pep system. Yeah, he's got a lot of goals. I think he's in the top. I think he's definitely in somewhere like the top 20 English goal scorers in the league. 100%, he's somewhere in that list. He might even be in the top 15. I think he's so disrespected, and I think people need to kind of give him his dues. 100%. The good thing that City have done is that City have the ability to replace their players immediately. They had last year, they trialed this whole thing with, who is it they were playing on the wings? They were playing, Foden and Grealish on the wings, I think it was. They trial it, it don't work, bam, go out and buy Doku. That Doku transfer, by the way, just came out of nowhere. To me, anyway, it just came out of nowhere. I just saw a here we go one day of Doku in a Manchester City shirt. I would take Sterling in the right wing, swap him for Sancho and Anthony. Koala don't rate 2 players. He's saying we'll give you 2 players, you give us 1. I would take Sterling in a heartbeat, but a guy that's played for Liverpool, Man City, and then Man United, we can't trust him. We can't trust him if he's played for Liverpool, City, and then United. Obviously, it's just hypotheticals. But I think, for me, I know I just went on a tangent about Raheem Sterling, but I rate him way too highly in comparison to maybe what other people rate him. And I just think, he's a kid that burst onto the scene at 17 years old, and he's still playing at a top level right now. He's only 28. He's still in his prime years. He's not going to start declining for another couple of years, until I think once he loses his burst of pace is when he'll probably start declining, of course. But I think he's still got a couple more years in him. Let's see what other games are on today as well. Let's go at Arsenal versus Brentford. Brentford, for me, haven't been that wow, if you know what I mean. They're 11th in the table right now. Don't expect that from them. Ivan Toney obviously coming back in January. Apparently he's already played in like 2 or 3 behind closed doors games, getting match fit, getting match ready. That first game that Ivan Toney comes back, if he scores, I can't wait to see what celebration he does. I honestly I can't wait to see what celebration he does. I think Arsenal, for me, it's so funny. I love watching, Arsenal debates online. I love it. And the reason why I love watching it, because you lot know me, I'm a hater. First and foremost, I'm a hater. But also the second point is more so the fact that Arsenal spent that much money in the window and they still say we need a striker. Like, I remember when they brought Jesus, I remember when Arsenal brought Jesus. This is when I started like my YouTube content creation. So I used to watch a lot of these shows on YouTube, and they made it sound like Arsenal had just signed, no pun intended, but like the next up number 9. And now already, I was always under the impression that Arsenal need a proper 9, like when they had Giroud, that kind of 9, like that. They need a proper number 9, And I feel like football has moved away from. I saw a conversation, I can't remember where it was, but football, I feel like is coming back now to the whole number nines. You know, the just the be in the box, be the target man. That's it. You don't want to. I personally, as a for a striker, I will be very honest, guys. If I got a number 9, I just want him to be in the box. I just want him to be in the box. I want him to be a goal scorer. I want him to be a goal threat. I want him to be a problem for the backline. I don't want my number 9 dropping deep. I don't want my number 9 dropping deep. Yes, I get it. You drop deep and it opens up space for your wingers. Okay, cool. I don't want that. I don't want that. I want wingers that can beat a man, and I want a number 9 that can stay in the box. Maybe I like the whole, I'm not gonna lie, also, I like the whole 4-4-2 thing. I'm very old school. I like 4-4-2, 2 strikers. I'm hoping when will football go back to playing 4-4-2? When will football go back to playing 4-4-2? But on the topic of Arsenal and Jesus, I don't know if you lot saw his comments during the international break where he said he don't like to score goals. Bro, how are you a striker and you saying you don't like to score goals? He basically likes to play as an inside forward. He likes to play a bit deeper. He likes to play in that little hybrid 10 wing role, which is what we see him doing a lot. We see him doing that a lot, by the way. But how are you a striker? It's like me, it's like Rashford coming out and saying, I don't like to score goals. I like to create. Bro, you're a forward. You're meant to score. That is your job. That is your job. How can you say that you don't want to score? You didn't say that. That's the worst way. You can paraphrase it. What was his exact? Let me go drag up his exact words. Let me go drag up his exact words. I swear that's what he said. That's what, you know, I'm a hater, guys. You know I'm a hater, man. You know I'm a hater. Where did he say it? Where did he say it? Let's find it. Okay. He actually he said, I believe that scoring goals are not my strong point. Okay, cool. Basically, to me, that just sounds like you don't want to score. Well, what's so different about what he said and what I just said? It's the same thing. Saying that scoring goals is not your strong point, then why have you been a striker all this time? Maybe this explains why Pep didn't want him, and he wasn't a starting forward for Pep. You know, the year that Aguero left, they were playing Sterling as a false 9, even when they had Jesus. They were playing Foden as a false 9, even when they had Jesus. Maybe this explains it. This maybe explains why he wasn't the starting striker. Okay, he said that scoring goals ain't his strong point. It's very similar, actually, to what Rashford said about playing through the middle is not his strong point. But then what did he follow that up with? Rashford then said, but I'm working on it so that I can improve. Now, I'm not saying Jesus should say that, but what I'm saying is that his price tag is not justified as a striker. How many goals has he got in the Prem since he joined? That's what I want to know. He joined what, last summer? Let me see. Let me be a hater and see how many goals he's got since he joined Arsenal, particularly in the Premier League. Okay, let's see. We're gonna see from last season to this season. He's got 12 goals in 32 33 appearances, which says a lot. I think that says more about his injury record. He's got 12 goals, 6 assists. Big up to Palmeiras in the chat. Says, I'm guessing like 10 to 11 could be wrong though. I don't watch them, man. I'm not gonna lie. I only watch Arsenal when they're playing big teams, or I only watch the big games. I always watch highlights. I prefer to watch extended highlights of other teams. So you know, like 10, 12-minute highlights, rather than watching a full 90. Mina wants Jesus to do that. I'm gonna turn around and I'm gonna shoot and I'm gonna score. Why wouldn't you want your striker to do that? Now I'm seeing Arsenal fans saying, and maybe I should get an Arsenal fan on the channel one day just for bans, just so that I can wind them up, because now I'm seeing Arsenal fans saying that they brought Kai Havertz. They're saying that they need an 8. Yeah, Arsenal fans are saying they need an 8 now, even though they got Odegaard and they brought Kai Havertz. I don't even know what Kai Havertz's role is in that Arsenal team. I saw him playing left back in the international break. Maybe Arteta might do that as well and start playing him at left back. But they're saying they need an 8 now, and they say that they need a number 9 to quotation marks challenge for the title. Last year, they choked it big time with a similar lineup. Just Declan Rice, I think, is the newest, probably the newest addition, and Timber, but he's not really in. There's no way that you can buy a Havertz and you can buy a Jesus and still be like, yeah, we still need an 8 and a 9. There's no, that's not right. That's not right. It's like United buying Rasmus Højlund and then saying, yeah, we need another striker. I'm not gonna lie, United do need a striker, but we don't need a starting striker. We don't need a starting striker. We need another option because Rasmus Højlund, let's be honest, guys, ain't seeing 90 minutes. My guy ain't seeing 90 minutes. So we need another striker. Anthony Martial, I don't know what's going on with him. The one season he's fit, the guy don't get to play. But I guess it's because he's lost his step. He's lost his mojo. He looks slower in everything that he does. But his technique and technical ability is still there. But I think United still need a backup striker. We don't need a starting one. So for Arsenal, does this mean now that they part ways with Jesus? Kai Havertz for me, I think when the Premier League start investigating all these transfers, I think number one, they have to investigate that transfer. They have to investigate that. How Chelsea managed to offload all that dead weight in the summer. They sold Koulibaly. They signed who else? They signed. They sold. Sorry, Ziyech. They sold the keeper Mendy. Yeah, that's just to Saudi. Yeah, they sold Havertz. They sold Mount to us. How they got 60 million with 1 year left on his contract? There's something illegal going on there. 100%. 100%. There's something illegal going there, and that has to be investigated. Yeah, so if the Premier League are going to start I know they're investigating Chelsea, and I hope they investigate all the sellings that they did, or all the players that they offloaded last summer transfer window, because there's no way that nothing illegal happened there, especially with the Mount thing. And you lot know my point on Mount. You lot know where I stand with Mason Mount. I've seen the amount of poor criticism I've seen him getting. I feel bad for him. The amount of criticism I've seen him getting just in like the last couple days, especially with his injury announcement as well. I feel kind of sorry for him, but I know you lot are going to tell me not to feel sorry for him. But it is what it is. What other games we got on today? Obviously, we got the big one, Liverpool versus City. Remember when Partey was the best midfielder for like 2 weeks? What happened to that guy? They're trying to ship him off, I swear, to Juve or something. I swear they're trying to ship him off to Juve. He was linked to Saudi, but then I know for sure that they're trying to... I'm sure I saw it was Juve that they were trying to ship him off to. But aside from, obviously, Liverpool versus City, one thing I hate, guys. One thing I hate is the 3 p.m. blackout. If you don't live in the UK, then maybe it's not a problem that you have because they probably show the games where you live. 3 p.m. blackouts are the stupidest stuff. The whole argument, yeah, that the FA or whoever has the Premier League, their whole argument, yeah, about the 3 p.m. blackout is to make it will encourage fans to go to games. But I never look at a Man United game and I'm like, oh, that game's at 3 p.m. Let me just go to the game instead of watching it at home. I never say that. Nobody ever says that. Nobody ever looks at a game and says, oh, that game's on at 3 p.m. It's not going to be on TV. Let me just go to the game. Nobody does that, because if you're going to go watch your team, you're going to go watch your team. It don't matter what time they're playing. They could be playing 8 p.m. on a Saturday. They could be playing flipping 7:30 on a Friday. They could be playing 4:30 on a Sunday. You will go watch them. Because I'm looking at the games and I'm not going to lie, a lot of them are not really interesting games. We got Burnley versus West Ham. Cool. Luton versus Palace. Newcastle versus Chelsea. For me, I think Chelsea will win, just because I feel like Newcastle got too many injuries. I think they've got way too many injuries. Forest versus Brighton, Sheffield United versus Bournemouth, and then Brentford versus Arsenal is the 5:30 kickoff game, which I've already said. Brentford is always like an interesting fight for Arsenal, especially away, because they're playing away. That's always an interesting battle. But for me, it's all about the City versus Liverpool game today. There's a lot of other games as well happening in Europe, but for me, I think Liverpool versus City. I've already went on my rant twice about the 12:30 kickoff. I'm very, very much against that. Big games like this being at 12:30. I think this is like every game that I've watched the last couple weeks before the international break at 12:30. I swear it's been Liverpool games. I swear it's been Liverpool games. This is probably the first weekend that I've seen Newcastle not being on Sky Sports, and they're playing Chelsea. How does that make sense? They're playing a big team and they're not on TV, but when they're playing the likes of flipping Sheffield, I have to watch them. Big up to Samir, says, going back to who had the better loan, I guess Alvaro had arguably one of the best, if not the best, even winning young player of the season at Preston. I watched him a lot at Preston. I think for me, I think the reason why I say Ahmad had a better loan spell is because Ahmad, everything he did directly impacted how Sunderland did that season, whether it was creating goals, i.e. assists, or scoring goals, which he did quite a bit of. Everything he did directly impacted Sunderland, where they got to the playoffs. I think they lost in like the semis of the playoffs for promotion. But also, if you watched him, if you watched Ahmad last season, there was a lot of things that he learned and he picked up from Tony Mowbray, who I think was a perfect coach for him. There was a lot of things that he picked up from him that Ahmad never really had in his locker before. First, I think, was strength. He got bigger whilst he was on loan. And not just bigger, i.e. weight, but just strength wise. He was able to shield a man off. He was able to, get back, support defensively. His defensive improvement for me was as important as his offensive improvements. Number one, that's my second point. And number three, I would say that we were able to see a lot more what style of player he is, because Alvaro Fernandez, for me, I think if I was to rank loans, I would say it was Ahmad, Hannibal, and then Alvaro. And I'm not saying, I wouldn't put Alvaro number one just because he won Young Player of the World. I think that's a great thing, but I think he was playing in a different system at Preston, where he was playing with a back three and he was playing as a wing back. United never play with wing backs. Whereas out of the two of them, who's more likely to come in and slot into a position? It would be Ahmad. It would be Hannibal, because they were playing in the positions that already exist at Manchester United. That's the point that I'm trying to get at. But I watched all of them last season. I even like I said, I watched Savage while he was at Forest Green Rovers. I watched Shola Shortire while he was at Bolton Wanderers. I literally watched every single game that I could because I was doing a show on United View called The Lone View. And for me, I think Alvaro has been unlucky, like a lot of other players from our academy, not to get a chance in the team. I think he's been very unlucky, and he might be a player that we're going to look back on similar to the likes of Ghana, Angel Gomez, etc., and be like, oh, he should have got a chance. Because for me, it's like, if players don't get at least a run of like 5 games of playing, having actual involvement in a game, whether it's 30 minutes here, a starting game here in like the early rounds of the FA Cup, etc., then really and truly, how can you really tell as a manager? And I don't know, maybe I should actually ask a manager this, but can you really tell just from a training session whether a player can play in the first team or not? Would you not have to actually see them be involved in a game? Like, wouldn't you have to see how they are in a game? Because in training is different. The vibe is different. The moment is different. It's training, isn't it? It's not a match day. It's not a game. So you're gonna play differently. Of course, you'll play with maybe the same level of intensity because the manager wants that. But I feel like the likes of Alvaro is gonna be like all the other players basically that were like, oh, they should have got a chance. They should have got a chance. If the manager doesn't like Ahmad and Alvaro, we have to back. Koala's on crack. Koala is on crack. I don't know what he's on about there. I don't know what he's on about. Oh, let's check the lineups for the City game. Come, let's see what the lineups are saying. I haven't had a chance to look at it. Do you don't want to know what my FPL team is? I've made changes in my FPL team. Oh, it's saying updating on FPL. I've made changes in my FPL team. I took out Matoma because it said he was 50% likely to play, and he's not really been that impactful in my team. Although now that I'm looking at it, they're playing Nottingham Forest. I maybe should have kept him in. But anyway, I took out Matoma, and I took out Matty Cash because Matty Cash was just not cutting it for me. I really miss, I think I had Estupian. I think he's out, injured. But I miss him. He used to get me bare points in FPL. He used to get me so many points. But I took them out. I can't remember who I actually replaced them with, I actually can't remember. I replaced Matty Cash with Mark Gee. I can't even say it. I'm not even gonna try to say his name. The Crystal Palace centre back. That's all I'm gonna say. And I can't remember who I actually replaced. I can't remember who I actually replaced Matoma with. It was another left winger as well. But let's check the starting teams. Let's check the lineups, and then we could go predictions, and then we could got. Let's go. Let me see what the lineups are saying. So City have Edison in goal, of course, as expected. Kyle Walker, Ruben Diaz, and Ake. That's a back three they're playing with. Rodri in the middle, of course, with Bernardo Silva, Julian Alvarez, and Akanji. I don't know what the hell. Where is Akanji playing? I don't know where. Oh, I put Doku in my team. That's who I put. But I don't know where Akanji's playing because he's listed as a midfielder. So I don't know where he's playing. Maybe he's playing as a wing back or something, or inverted centre back, whatever Pep's on. And then it's, of course, Phil Foden on one side, Doku on the other side, and then Erling Haaland in the middle. Their bench is actually not that wow. Like, I'm actually looking at their bench, and their bench is Calvin Phillips, Sergio Gomez, Oscar Bob, Ortega, Carson, John Stones, and then who else? Vardio, Lewis. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 4. They got 4 defenders on their bench. Doku's getting pocketed. Doku versus what side does Doku play? Doku is playing. He's coming up against Tsimikas. Again, this is Liverpool's lineups, by the way, guys. Is Becker in goal, of course. Trent on the right, Van Dijk and Matip in the middle, and then Tsimikas at left back. Then it's man like Szoboszlai, McAllister, Curtis Jones, the boy that I rate. And then it's Jota, Nunes, and Salah. Kind of what I expected, you know. I don't know what people were expecting, but that's kind of a lineup I expected. Is Gravenberch, I think, is out injured. Oh no, he's not. He's on the bench. So that's a big call actually from Klopp to play Curtis Jones in the game. I think, you know, I said it at the beginning, I think Curtis Jones is a phenomenal player. I think he's going to be a phenomenal player. And I think he's in some attributes he's the best in terms of midfield in that Liverpool team. But I think he's going to be playing in that holding role, maybe with McAllister. Szoboszlai is going to be a bit more forward. They got a decent bench as well. They've actually got a good bench. I'm not going to lie. They've got a good mix of midfielders, forwards, etc., etc. Let's see who they've got on their bench as well. They have on their bench Joe Gomez, Endo, who I've never seen him play, Konate. They got Diaz, Gakpo, Elliott, Gravenberch, Keller, and Kwanzaa. So that's a pretty decent bench. I think it's a good balance of midfielders, defenders, and forwards. You know, if things ain't working for them in their front line, they can switch it up. They can bring on Diaz, they can bring on Gakpo, etc. Who's gonna bag first, guys? Who's gonna bag first? Let me know who you think. So Jack Grealish is actually out injured. Big up to Kadeem says, I really don't get it with Curtis Jones. Of course, the Evertonian is not going to rate a Liverpool player. I shouldn't be rating him as well. But for the purpose of this stream, I told you, like, I've taken off, you know, my hater hat. I've taken off my Man United hat, and I've just put on my football punditry hat. That's it. And that's why I say I rate Curtis Jones. I like him. I think he's got a bit of talent. I think he's good. I think he can really be something good in that Klopp system, depending on if he actually gets the chances. I mean, the fact that the managers started him in this game says a lot. I think that really, really says a lot. Doku versus Trent. I think if Doku is on the right, it will be Doku versus Tsimikas. But if he's on the left, because Foden likes to play on the right. Yeah, it's a. Let me see what's this. Yeah, so this is actually saying that Doku's on the left, which means it's going to be Doku versus Trent. He's going to have a field day. Forget Trent. Matip. Obviously, I think Matip plays. I think Matip in that back line. I think Liverpool are going to sit with that back line, especially in transition. It's going to be Van Dijk, Matip, and maybe Tsimikas. I think Trent is going to get forward a lot, so it's going to be them three in the back predominantly. I think Matip is there because of his ability to like try and play out from the back and progress the ball. But oh my days, he stinks defensively. Like, he's got errors in him. And him and Trent on the same side, I feel like he's lost a step as well. So I think in the summer maybe Liverpool will go out. I don't know why Konate is not playing. Konate is another player I rate very heavily. He's another player that I rate very, very heavily. But Trent and Matip versus Doku. Oh my days. All right, Doku, please. I put you in my FPL team. I shouldn't be saying please because he's a City player. Let me put my FPL hat aside. Guys, let's go with the predictions. I'm going to quickly wrap it up, of course. If both teams could lose, I would be the most happiest person alive. Honestly, I don't want to predict a win for either of them. Let's see how the table looks as well, because I think they're both quite close to each other in the Premier League table. Liverpool are only 1 point off them, so even a win for Liverpool will put them top of the table ahead of City. Obviously, depends on the Arsenal result and obviously the Tottenham result. City, if they lose, could essentially end up in like 4th by the end of the weekend. Essentially, they could end up in 4th place. And that's basically saying if Liverpool, Arsenal, and Tottenham win their games, that's not a confirmation. But if they do and City losing at the Etihad, I don't know how likely that is. I don't know how likely that is. Against the big team. When was the last time they lost to one of the big six at home? I can't even remember. And I think both teams look quite strong. I think Pep has crowded out that midfield, so that midfield battle is going to be an interesting one. You know, from time he's playing Akanji there. Is that where is Akanji playing? No, okay. I don't know if Akanji is playing. I don't know if Akanji is because right now it's saying that they're playing with a back four, but the FPL app is saying they're playing with a back three. So we just gotta wait till the game actually starts to kind of know where they're playing. But Bernardo Silva and Rodri against McAllister, Curtis Jones, Szoboszlai, etc. It'll be interesting. Julian Alvarez, by the way, I think we are overlooking him. I think we're overlooking Julian Alvarez, another player that could be a threat. I think that's another player that could be a threat today. If Erling Haaland ain't on the score sheet, I guarantee you Julian Alvarez will. It's either one or the other, maybe even both. What is the result? I'm going to say it's 2-2. I think it's going to be, you know what I would like? As a football fan, I would like to see that Chelsea and City game. I would like to see something like that. I would like to see end-to-end. If you've made me wake up early on a Saturday after I slept late last night, yeah? If you make me wake up early on a Saturday, yeah? And watch football at 12:30, yeah? You better give me a good game. I want to see end-to-end football. Because I ain't seeing that Man United versus Everton tomorrow. Before I got to watch that stinkiness tomorrow, I would like to see exciting football today. Entertaining football. That's it. I don't care about the result, honestly. I'd like a draw if it's 2-2, 3-3, whatever. I just want to see goals galore. That's it. Am I crazy to say that, guys? Please let me know if that's not right of me to say that. But that's the kind of game that I'm hoping to see. Who do I think will get on the score sheet for the sake of my FPL? I'm joking. Let me not talk about my FPL because that's one thing I hate about FPL, guys. Is FPL makes me watch other games and be like, please score, please score. Like, why am I asking for Salah to score? Why am I asking for him to score? I will never do it against my own team. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I will never do it against my own team. But if I'm watching, I triple captain Salah against Luton because I thought, yeah, relegation team, Salah's gonna pop off. He absolutely did not pop off. He did not pop off, and I wasted my triple captain. I'm a disgrace. I'm honestly a disgrace. You know how many ops I have in my team, guys? I don't have one Man United player. You know why? Because I genuinely think that you should base FPL not on the team that you support. Like I say that all the time when is United players, I have them in when United are doing well. That's it. And the same is with everyone. I'll take Haaland out if he ain't doing well. I'll take out whoever when they're not doing well. Mina supports ops. Shames. I don't support ops. As long as it's the same amount of goals on both sides. Facts. As long as they score the same amount of goals. The rivalry between City and Liverpool is so boring. Too much kumbaya. Pep and Klopp with so much love and admiration for each other. I just want hate. I just want hate. That's it. I want to see Conte Tuchel vibes from Klopp and Pep, not this fake best friend act. It's annoying. And you know what? I want some shambolic calls. I know it's very bad of me to say that, guys, but I want some shambolic calls just so that I can see Pep going off in the press conference and Klopp. Because you know, there are two people that give the funniest press conferences after a bitter loss. After a bitter loss, they give the funniest press conferences ever. So I wouldn't really mind that. But in terms of result, I told you lot, I'm going for a 2-2, a 3-3, just a draw. Just a draw. I'm not going to say I want City to win or I want Liverpool to win because, like I said, really and truly, I don't want neither of them to win. But from a footballing perspective, I think they've both put out good teams. I think they both could actually get a job done. City, I think, is actually lucky to be playing at home. I think if Liverpool were playing at home, I would have actually said maybe Liverpool will win just because of their crowd and their atmosphere and their fans. One of the loudest fans. I think it's the loudest stadium in the Premier League. But I don't know. If you are up but you're Islam, Mina has a soft spot for you. Are you saying that's why I got Salah in my team? Doing up triple captain when it's not a double game week is haram. Listen, don't question, guys, my logic. I have I have dumb logic sometimes. My logic genuinely doesn't make sense 90% of the time. I just do stuff. You know me, I'm on vibes, guys. I'm on vibes. If I feel like doing something because the vibe is right, I'm going to be like, yeah, cool. I'm gonna do it. It's only once I did the triple captain, and then I told someone, I said, I triple captain Salah this weekend. Like, I hope it pays off. And they were like to me, why the hell would you use your triple captain when it's not a double game week? And I was like, oh, it's just the vibe. It's just the vibe. That's all I'm going for. So there, I messed up there. I'll admit it. And I'm not gonna lie, guys. I said to you guys at the beginning of the stream, I'm doing pretty well this FPL. I've never been still invested in FPL, guys. At this point of the year, if you don't want to see my team, I'll tell you what my team is. I've got Leno in goal, which I think is just a safe bet to have. Again, that Palace player, I think Kuala mentioned it in the chat, but I don't know how to say his name. Gay? His name is Gay. Mark Gay. Yeah, I got Mark Gay. I just put him in my team this weekend because I took Matty Cash out. I got Trippier and Pedro Porro, so I'm playing a back three. I got Saka, Diaby, Bumemo, whatever his name is. Damn. I need to stop this. Guys, I just be embarrassing myself on stream all the time, pronouncing names shambolically. Salah, and then Doku, and then I got Ollie Watkins and Haaland up top. And I forgot to change my captain. So Salah is still my captain. Normally I have Haaland as a captain, but Salah is still my captain. And guys, I've been saying this for like the last couple weeks in FPL. Stop the count. You know, like Trump. You know when Trump was saying stop the count during the elections? That's the vibe I'm on every week in my group chats, because I'm like, stop the count. I'm top of the table. Just stop the count. FPL is ending here. Currently sitting top on 2 of my leagues out of what? I don't even look at the United View one because there's way too many people in that. So I don't even look at that one. But my own league, I'm sitting 11th and I'm only 30 points off the top. So I think I could catch that. My family one, I'm only second and I'm only like 5 points off the top. And 2 of like my Call of Duty leagues with my friends, I'm top of that. And I've got a comfortable lead. I've got a comfortable lead there. So I'm not really looking at that. Right now, my priority is my family one and my own FPL league. Stop the count settings, bro. This is Trump settings. Stop the count. On that note, guys, I'm actually going to stop the count on the stream and I'm going to end it here. Big up to everybody. You guys know what it is. A minute trying to save at PS5. It's only once I decided I was going to give a PS5, I was like, I shouldn't have done that. And I can't even go back on it because everyone got visual proof of me saying that. So I'm really trying to win my league, or I'm really hoping like one of my friends or someone wins the league, because at least if my friend or one of my cousins, if they win the league, I could just be like to them, shut up, bruv, I ain't giving you a PS5, you already got one. But if it's someone I don't know, it's peak. So I'm really trying to win that league, guys. I'm really, really trying to win that league. But big up to everybody, man. You guys already know what it is. Stream schedule is out. So if you guys go onto the community tab, you can see the schedule for the week. Not for the week, actually, for the weekend. Might have a little impromptu stream later on tonight because I ain't doing nothing on this weekend. Actually, I'm a liar. I am doing something tomorrow, but I'm not doing anything today on Saturday. So I got time in it. Big up to everybody. You guys know what it is. You guys can become a member. It's the pinned comment in the chat. Link takes you there. It's a 2-tier system. You get your badges, you get your emojis, custom content, and we got custom content coming for you guys. I've actually got some it's football content, but it's not like talking about games and that kind of stuff, if you know what I mean. If that's giving away too much, I got some content coming with some funny people, content creators, etc. I asked you guys what I should do. More people voted that I should collaborate with other content creators. So that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing you lot other content creators that you lot are going to enjoy the content. So make sure you guys comment, make sure you like, make sure you lot subscribe. As mentioned, you can become a member. It's the pinned link. It's the pinned link in the chat. You get your badges, you get your emojis, you get custom content for member only stuff, and it's a 2-tier system. So, cost of living crisis in it. I know it's a cost of living crisis. And of course, you can support the continuation of the channel, of the content. We're up in the content, we're up in the quality, more streams, more videos. I've set myself a goal, guys. Next month and the coming year, I'm going to do a lot more videos as well as live streams in it. So hold me to that. I'll be back maybe this evening, but I'll be definitely back tomorrow for the women's game. You guys know what it is. Make sure you guys come through. Be sure to hit the like button, guys. And until next time, guys, you lot know what it is. It's your girl, Mina. Fuck City and Liverpool. Peace.